Have you ever thought about the possibility that Dragon might appear on EggHead Island very soon? Because this chapter just pretty much gave us that possibility, and it also gave the One Piece community's theorists a massive W. Welcome to my channel guys, this is Dan Drinks Coke, and today I'm going to talk about the latest One Piece chapter, chapter 1067. So let's get into it, shall we? Also, very quick shout out to TCB Scans for putting out the chapter so early, it literally made my day so much better. Alright, so chapter 1066 is titled Punk Records, and on the cover story we see Caesar and Judge ready to duke it out. And it makes perfect sense considering the fact that back in Mads they probably hated each other, so it makes perfect sense that if they ever saw each other again, it would be directly throwing hands on sight. But yeah, back into the chapter, basically Vegapunk just explains about the state of his head. And no guys, it's not that head, it is this big ass head. But yeah, basically the theorists of the One Piece community got a massive W because they theorized that Vegapunk does have a devil fruit and that he ate the brain fruit. Which Oda pretty much confirms it with this chapter because everything they theorize is actually the truth. So it is revealed that Vegapunk ate the Nomi, which is the brain fruit, and it basically gives the user unlimited brain storage capacity. And it fits perfectly with Vegapunk because he was born a genius, and with the help of the Nomi, he is able to further expand his knowledge up to infinity basically. And that is pretty much the reason why Vegapunk's head was so big, and also the reason why Dragon noted back in the flashback from last chapter that Vegapunk's head grew even bigger. And funnily enough, Oda decided to debunk one of my theories that I had from last chapter, where basically I thought that the reason why Vegapunk's head became so small is that he transferred part of his brain or his head and distributed to the 6 other Vegapunks. But I was wrong, that was not the case. The real reason why his head got cut off is because it got so big to the size of a giant that he just had to do it. And basically, the apple head that we see on the top of his head is basically a pair of antennas that connects directly to his brain at the top of EggHead Island called Punk Records. So yeah, the massive head on EggHead Island was actually just Vegapunk's Gigabrain, and it keeps on growing every single day because of the 6 Vegapunks. Where technically he created them in order to facilitate and advance his research more efficiently by having 6 part of him. And at the end of every day, all the experiences and knowledge that the 6 Vegapunks accumulated will be synced up directly with Punk Records. And this is where Vegapunk kind of reveals his dream, where basically he wants to be able to share his brain, share his knowledge to every single human in the world, and having basically the whole population of the world update information on Punk Records in real time. So he either wants to create Wi-Fi or Wikipedia, and it seems like this is his idea of creating a better world through science. And then Jinbei asks him a very valid question, where he basically says that if everyone shares their conflicting ideologies and biases, wouldn't that just cause more trouble? But Vegapunk says that if you keep worrying about stuff like this, science will never progress. And that angers Bonney because it is that same ideology that Vegapunk has that ended up turning her father, Bartolomeo Kuma, into a heartless machine. We then see her whip out a lightsaber that she found in the junkyard and points it at Vegapunk, threatening him to bring her father back into a normal state, if not she'll kill him. But then Vegapunk quickly tells her to switch the lightsaber off because it is not just a normal lightsaber, it's a defective one, so it does not do what a normal lightsaber does, but instead it attracts a lot of bugs. And I mean a lot, because literally in the next panel we see a swarm of bugs just coming towards Bonney. And I guess that Bonney is extremely scared of bugs because upon seeing them she totally just faints and passes out. And I'm actually very happy that that happened, just because of this one panel where Luffy shows off to her his obsession with beetles. And out of curiosity, I wondered, why does Luffy like beetles so much? And why does Oda even attach Luffy to beetles? So I went on to do some research, and I found that many cultures also relate the beetles with the sun god. And to the Africans, they believe that the scarab beetle's spiritual symbol is the emissary of the sun. and that the Egyptians worshipped the scarab beetle as a symbol of the sun, light, and even regeneration.
Coincidence? I think not!
But yeah, Bonney faints out, Vegapunk gets up, he actually totally understands the reason why Bonney even wants to kill him. And then he makes a remark that it is quite ironic that a failed experiment of his actually ended up saving him. And that line might be a foreshadow of one might come in the future. I don't know yet, but it probably is. But yeah, Vegapunk then proceeds to ask Luffy if he ever saw a dragon that looks just like Kaido in Wano, because he used Kaido's lineage factor to create that artificial devil fruit that he deemed as a failure. And throughout all of these years, we thought that the reason why Vegapunk called Momo's fruit a failure was because he was trying to hide that enormous power from the world government. But we were totally wrong. Although it is an exact copy, Vegapunk deemed it as a failure simply because it was a different color. And yeah, we totally overthought about it. It was something very, very simple at the end of the day. But, you know, we take those. And then Oda does what Oda does best, dropping bombshells and leaving us with more questions than ever. So for the robot, not only was it created over 900 years ago during the Void Century, but it also awakened 200 years ago and decided to attack Marijois. And during that attack, it was not defeated by the Marines or the admirals of that time. It was literally defeated by himself running out of power. And that although the world government ordered the scientists to destroy it, they decided to keep it out of curiosity, because where would you ever find something built like that? And then Robin says something very interesting. She says that 200 years ago, wasn't that the time where the fisherman rights movement started to gain ground? And this is a callback to chapter 620, where Hachi stated that 200 years ago is when fishmen and merfolks were officially categorized as types of fish, and that although the Ryugu kingdom became part of the world government and that the king had a place in the Reverie Council, humans still ended up hating fishmen. And the only thing that I can even think of that would fit these two events together is that the humans totally misunderstood fishmen, because they thought that they unleash the robot onto the Holy Land of Marijois, because the only realistic way to enter Marijois is to actually come out of the sea and climb up, thus creating the misunderstanding that the fishmen attack them, which is why they hate fishmen even till this day. But yeah, afterwards, Shaka tells the rest of the Straw Hats that the Vega Force 1 was created in the image of that robot. And this is something even the smartest brain in the world, Vegapunk himself, was not able to replicate, simply because he does not know the power source of that robot. And what if that power source is actually Cola, and that it was the final piece to unlock the technology of the Void Century? And it's very fun to theorize because it will tie up to Frankie and also me myself, because I really like Cola. But yeah, jokes aside, Vegapunk then tells Luffy that he feels that it's fate that Luffy came here today, because he wants Luffy to help him get out of Egghead. And that is probably because he knows that he's in grave danger, which ties to the next panel where basically CP0 arrives in Egghead. And they're not very slick because they use Bonney as a reason to come into the island, even though it seems like Vegapunk already knows that the reason why they're coming is to eliminate him. But then Shaka denies their access and asks them to leave the Seraphim and leave, and then tells everyone to get ready for combat. And as far as we know, CP0 does not have the knowledge that the Straw Hats are at Egghead. And it is quite obvious that this is setting up Zoro and Brook to fight or hold off CP0. And honestly speaking, Lucci and CP0 is just not going to do anything against Zoro. Zoro at this point of the story is leagues above Lucci. Even if Lucci got stronger over the time skip, there is no way Zoro even struggles against him. But yeah, Enies Lobby is not going to happen again. This is probably just a build up to show off how strong the commanders of a Yonko actually are. And at the end of the chapter, we see Kuma standing up and starts running. So this is actually very, very interesting. First off, it is obvious that Dragon is a monkey D based on that scream. Secondly, where is Kuma actually going? And the only place I can think of is obviously EggHead Island. Something probably got triggered inside of him and he knows that there's some kind of danger approaching EggHead Island and he needs to go there. Or he actually is emotionally kind of connected to Bonney and knows when Bonney is going to be in danger, that's why he's going there. And this is actually extremely hype because not only are we going to see daddy issues from Bonney, because she's literally going to see the real Kuma, the policeman Kuma, and the Seraphim Kuma. Not only that, but this gives so much potential as we may not only going to see more character development from Bonney and from Kuma, but also we might see Revolutionary Army members appear in Egghead as well. And I really hope that Dragon's going to appear. Like, come on. If he appears in Egghead, it's just going to tie so much thing together and make just everything more hype. Oda just cannot stop building up more plot points for this arc, and I really can't wait to learn more about it. But yeah guys, give me your thoughts. What do you think about this chapter? How do you rate it? Do you like the fact that Vegapunk ate a devil fruit? And what do you think actually ties the robot attacking Marie-Joie and the fishman movement rights? Do you think it was a misunderstanding or do you think it was something even bigger? And finally, what do you feel is going to happen to Kuma? Do you think Kuma is running towards the direction of Egghead? And do you think that other Revolutionary Army are going to come alongside him? But yeah guys, if you're new here, please consider to like, comment, subscribe, and ring the notification bell for more One Piece content just like this onto your feed every single week. So until next time, drink some Coke.